Welcome back. France has announced plans to implement its own tax on big tech companies in the new year after EU-wide efforts stalled. The digital tax, which will affect firms including Google, Apple, Facebook and Amazon, will bring in 500 million euros in 2019, according to French Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire. For more on this and a look at some of the other business stories making headlines, business analyst and CEO of Explain the Market, Guy Shone, joined me for Talking Business.
France and Germany have long been trying to persuade the EU to implement proposals for this 3% tax on tech giants like Facebook and Amazon. But it's been opposed by countries like Ireland, Sweden, Finland and the Czech Republic. And there's really two types of criticism. Some critics complain that a tax like this, that only affects firms earning over 750 million euros a year, breaches international rules on the equal treatment of all companies. But equally, there's a bigger type of pressure, which is pressure on politicians coming from a sense that these giant tech brands really are not paying their fair share. Now, some of the countries who've decided to opt out, who are not in favour of these proposals, are countries who also have very attractive low tax environments for business. So there's really a mixture of things going on, but certainly it's something that's really putting pressure on President Macron and other leaders across Europe.
Let's move on to our second topic, Guy. And the UK government has announced a package of workplace reforms to better protect so-called gig economy workers. Just remind us what the gig economy is and how exactly will workers be protected?
Well, Sam, it's a very common way of working now. In the UK, there are about 1.1 million British workers in the so-called gig economy. And predominantly, these are people working through agencies, doing perhaps multiple different jobs and working quite flexible hours. But the flexibility is, in a sense, part of what's attracting a lot of the criticism. So this new legislation forces employers to ensure all employees know their rights to benefits like sick pay and have the ability to request more predictable working hours. Many flexible workers are on 0 hours contracts, and these controversial agreements are where employers are not obliged to offer any work to their employees at all. Now, many have called these contracts unfair. In fact, the Church of England called them the reincarnation of an ancient evil. So the reforms have been welcomed by some, but many campaigners think there's a lot more work to be done.
Yeah, still a long way to go there. And finally, Guy, shares in the online clothing company ASOS tumbled by 41%, haven't they? This is the latest online retailer to be hit by weak consumer confidence. Tell us more about this.
Well, yeah, ASOS are a major retailer in France, in Germany, in the UK. Now, in each of those countries, we've seen this unstoppable trend of traditional stores struggling to compete with online giants. But today, we see that online-only brands can struggle too. Now, we've spoken about this on the show before, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, hugely successful discount strategies, but it seems that a culture of relentlessly discounting and having special offers all the time is really harming online profits. But the ASOS CEO blamed today's bad news on this relentless discounting, and rival brands with similar strategies also saw their shares drop too. Online-only retailers are going to be spending much of 2019 trying to figure out how to break this cycle before it becomes a race to the bottom.